Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second edition of Soccer Shorts here on my old YouTube channel. I am Rafa Gonzalez. This is
Giovanni Franco.
And he's joining me for the second video as well. And unfortunately, we have some sad things to talk about, that being the knockout of the U.S. men's national team. To get things out of the way first, I'm very proud of my countrymen. I appreciate all the effort they gave. I understand the kind of maybe restrictions or whatever, you know, they have to please a coach, okay? So they have to listen to the coach, they have to play a certain style in a certain way. But I just don't believe it. And to be honest, I know you had said this in our last video, in Jurgen we trust.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't, absolutely. And in fact, it makes me sick to my stomach knowing that he's got another World Cup cycle to deal with. And in fact, I think that we should really kind of part ways from him now, because he has done nothing new. In fact, I don't think we've made any real progression, so maybe we can start on this first before we jump into the actual game. Sure. I feel like we got to the same place we got to last World Cup, right? We got to round 16, that's great. And we made it out of the group of death. There were plenty of, I want to cuss. I'm going to try to keep the cussing to nil.
I feel the gravity of this all, and it's keeping me from laughing because I actually like Jurgen. I think he's done a decent job. But here we go. Okay, so
we made it the same distance we did last World Cup, correct?
Yeah.
2 World Cups ago, Bruce Arena took us to the quarterfinals, and we came this close to make it to the semis.
Yeah. Again, you played against a tough Germany, which then went to the final and lost to then Brazil, which was the Seleção. I believe Scolari led that team. That was a fun World Cup to think back then. But
so close.
But you know, if you're comparing it back then, there were different kinds of players back then. I don't know. What do you want to say about that one?
My main concern is that we haven't progressed at all. Okay, back then, you know, with what Bruce Arena was working with, we had a certain talent pool, we had a certain level of player. 12 years on, are we still working with the same pool of talent? Are we still so stretched for players and creativity that we can only play a certain style of soccer in this country, that being of a defensive-minded, oh gosh, we should really respect this international tournament and those people that we're playing against, and just let them attack us and pray that we can hold them off with our defensive fortitude and heart and emotion. Is this what you are okay with?
I'm not okay with the defensive ability, but considering what happened in the last World Cup, we had England. I remember seeing the tableau easy for England. It was England, Slovenia, Algeria, and they called us the Yanks. And we still ended up getting out of that group in first place over the English. We got lost to Ghana. And considering that group wasn't that tough compared to what this group was.
How many wins in our group stage last World Cup?
1.
How many wins in this one?
1.
How many wins in our entire campaign?
The win against Ghana, though, is kind of credible as compared to the win against Algeria. Algeria, that is different. I think Ghana is a tough team, and as you saw against Germany, they tied the German team. It's a little different.
We all knew that Ghana was... we all knew that this group was a very difficult group, full of fantastically talented teams. The World Cup is meant to have fantastical teams in it.
True. Yeah, well, that's why you got to the World Cup in the first place.
Okay, now speaking of that, what other CONCACAF teams made it to the World Cup?
Mexico, Costa Rica.
Mexico, Costa Rica. Where's Costa Rica? They're still in this tournament.
They're in the quarterfinals still, yeah. Impressive for a country of around, I think we're speaking, 4.3 million?
4.3 million people.
I think there's more people in the outer LA area.
Approximately, there are about 312 million Americans out there. Okay? Now let's just think about this. A quote from Jurgen Klinsmann. A quote from Jurgen says...
so much you don't want to say his name.
A quote from Jurgen says that we are looking across the entire country, searching far and wide across the United States for talent. And, in fact, we've done that and decided that maybe we should go abroad and get some Germans on this team. Hell, let's go to Iceland. Let's look elsewhere outside of the borders of the United States to bring in players, because for some reason we cannot find the talent in 312 million people.
That's, well, what's funny is that's like that is kind of a European thing. Think about it. We have Spain won in 2008 the Euro. We had a Brazilian born that was playing for Spain, Marco Senna. You had a German that was Brazilian born named Kaká who was playing for Germany. You have always these melting pots that people could play, and it happens that it can work to some of these countries' favor, and it's kind of Eurocentric or Eurotypical that he would do something of the sort, and it's kind of so typical to be German as well.
Right. It seems very
Rafa and his conspiracy theories.
I'm just saying. Okay, so with that being said, what kind of tournament is Costa Rica having? How did they qualify in their group stages?
They qualified in flying colors, unlike L3. L3 had to go through repechaje, but qualified easy there with New Zealand. We qualified easy too. I think we qualified easier than Costa Rica. Well, come on. The Costa Ricans cried of injustice of playing in that snow at Denver. Come on. If anyone had a possible plight, it'd be Costa Rica.
You know what? To be honest, Costa Rica, I'm almost at... I completely forgot about that. In my opinion, maybe Costa Rica had a point. Had we played on a green field in open sun, Costa Rica probably could have whipped us. I'm going to go out and say that now. And that's sad.
This
to me,
team
it's a
right
disgrace. Absolute disgrace. I'm just saying, why aren't we capable of playing an attacking brand of football, a creative brand of football? Why aren't we coming out of our shell and trying to compete with other international teams? Why must we have so much respect for these international countries?
Maybe it's a fear mentality. Maybe we're too afraid of them. I see what you mean by attacking them, because like we did with the Germans, we showed we could attack when we had the ball. We just didn't do it too often. In fact, we gave them way too much, as I said, respect, and gave them the possession of the ball. When we did go forward, we actually looked very cutting. And the last very second of the game against Belgium, that free kick play showed you a little bit of that intellect, capability, very cheeky, able to get past the defense. Oh, what if that goal went in, man? It would have been very more different. This conversation would be a lot different.
So many what ifs.
Yeah.
So many what ifs, and let's just jump into it. Let's jump into the Belgium game. Do you think we deserve to win?
No. If you make your goalie have 16, 15 saves, it's more than obvious you play a defensive game.
There's a great place to start.
As we said, it was a battle between Thibaut Courtois and Tim Howard. We put Courtois with 4 or 5 saves. Howard had 16. You put one man under more pressure than the other.
Credit to Courtois for staying awake for the entire game.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have to do jack shit. I'm sorry. I tried. I just can't. He didn't have to do anything for the entire game.
That goal by Julian was really nice, though.
Classy.
Yep.
Very talented. Very gifted.
First time.
Where was that the rest of the game? Also, Michael Bradley, I have a ton of respect for you, Michael Bradley. I don't like the fact that you came back to Major League Soccer, because I think you're good enough to play abroad.
We all think.
Jeez, Michael Bradley. And since you've made the move,
be still there.
Where's your touch gone? Why have you been so lacking in confidence for this tournament? I mean, there were so many times, Gio, where I was watching him and he let the ball play through his legs so that he didn't have to, make the touch or put a shot on goal. There were so many times where he sprayed a pass that seemed so basic and so straightforward that I almost slapped myself thinking that can't be Michael Bradley.
Well, here's your thing, though. He's a center midfielder, and sometimes center midfielders are calling with the concept of first touch. If you look at a player that plays center midfield for Brazil, I like to always poke a little fun at Ramirez. His first touch is awful. The fact that he is such a fast player, he makes up for it totally for a messed up first touch. Who do we have in the United States that can play in that center attacking role that basically his touch just stays on his foot like James Rodriguez from Colombia? It just doesn't. Who do we have? Who would you put there?
I wouldn't mind putting in Landon Donovan. Actually,
I walked into that shit.
You did, absolutely. I'm sorry. And this is something that we can discuss further, but maybe that's something for another video. I don't know.
Yeah.
But look, Landon.
Credit to Michael. You saw though why he was there. A couple of times when there was messed up touches and the Belgians were outside the counterattack, that young man ran his ass off to get to this position.
I'm not saying that Landon should have been there in place of
anybody,
of Michael Bradley. I think that he could have been there in place of Graham Zusi, and I love Graham Zusi.
Graham had a terrible game out.
Alejandro Bedoya, Mix Discarud, Timmy Chandler.
Mix it and play. Bedoya, even little Bedoya. He plays on for Nantes in France. He plays pretty decent in every game. It's a tough league on.
I love Ali Bedoya. He was one of my first kind of player interviews at World Football Daily. He's been great to me, and I would come to his defense, but I mean, he could have been subbed out, in that last game for Donovan. There's just so many points where Donovan, I think, would have been helpful. And in general, look, I also think that, I'm saying played much too defensively. We played way too respective to our opposition. Belgium played with practically two at the back. Okay,
they did with company. They played well. They held us.
And everybody says, "Oh, but we looked so great in the last 15 minutes." Why? Because we were attacking.
We were losing.
We put people forward, and when we put people forward, Belgium were on their heels. Granted, Belgium were tired because they spent the last hour and however many minutes attacking us and trying to unlock us. But still, I just think that Landon Donovan would have been that catalyst from the back line to the front.
Line, yeah. Perhaps. Well, here's one for your conspiracy theory book. That mess by Wondolowski, everyone keeps asking me about. Like, what if that was Landon? He would have been in. The point, though, to that, a lot of commentators will say this still wouldn't have counted because the referee wrongfully waved offside. So what happens if it was Landon or Wando put it in? And it was a goal, clear cut, and they won't put it back.
If it was
if it
was Landon, it probably wouldn't get called back because the referee would have had so much respect for the name of Donovan. Yeah. I mean, that's hearsay. Look, and Wando, I'm very happy that you got in the game. I would have liked to see more of you because
I'd like to see more of you.
Yeah, having
game would have been nice.
Yeah, sure. Having two up top really made a difference for the United States. I mean, again, once we decided to attack,
opening options up when he held the ball up for a little bit.
The amount of energy that he brought to the side was just incredible. And seriously, 99 times out of 100, Wando, that is your goal. I know you hit that 99 times out of 100. And if you would have had more time, I guarantee you probably would have got a little bit.
If you were on earlier, maybe. If you find your touch.
So again, so many ifs, ands, and buts about the game.
We're Americans. We want to think what could have happened.
Right.
Especially in a game like that.
Also, I'm going to take this time to kind of make my keeper statement. Timmy,
good work.
Yeah. Well done. You made a ton of saves, and I apologize. Really, I do for
being critical.
Well, that too. That's coming in second.
I've been a little critical myself.
Well,
I do applaud you, amigo.
But yeah, no. When your goalkeeper is setting records for number of saves, and when your goalkeeper is the man of the match,
where does he play?
No. What does that say about your team?
Playing defensive. The statistics tell you right there.
Just that your defense sucks ass. It's not doing its job.
Yeah, you can basically say that. How many shots on goal?
Also, I'm going to say this, and please, if you disagree, comment below, okay?
Tell us.
90% of the shots that were at him were just that, at him. So, easy saves? Maybe? I'm just saying. Okay.
I don't know, pressure of the World Cup, round of 16. This team is gunning at you. You feel like it's all out on you.
Prove me wrong. There's an ESPN video out there that shows all 16 of his saves, and just argue against me, please.
Give the man a little bit of credit. He worked his ass off in that game.
He did. He probably sweat more than Clint Dempsey did, because Clint Dempsey was, where was he the whole game?
That final touch against Thibaut Courtois was his. That's all I can think of at the moment. But I could be wrong.
Poor Dempsey. He didn't see the ball all game, so no wonder why his touch was so bad.
Unfortunately, Graham was having a terrible game. There's a lot of players that had terrible games, and I thought the player of the tournament besides Howard was Fabian Johnson, and he picked up the knock at the end.
Yeah,
he played well.
He looked good. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm very critical of the United States because I love this country. I love the idea of the United States doing well in international tournaments. I want them to represent us on a global stage. And yes, I'm just very, very disappointed. I have to wait 4 more years until we get this opportunity again, really, is what it comes down to.
True, but you can think of it like this since we're Americans. We're finally going to find a way to conquer Russia.
That was clever.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to say, sir? I mean, I could go on and on about how I think that...
We mentioned the goalie battle,
yes.
Courtois, and Tim Howard, even though the few times we put Courtois under pressure, we scored, as opposed to the few times we put Howard under pressure, they scored. De Bruyne, class. And very nice goal as well. When he hit the ball right into Jones's face, he could have ran off and let the guy just stay there and rock the poor head injury. But,
you think he knew what he was doing? Yes.
Yeah, he probably did. Yeah.
Look,
waste a little bit of time, make a little injury. Sorry.
The other comment about Belgium is that had they been more clinical, again, look at the 16 saves that Tim Howard had to make. Had they been more clinical with their finishing, this game could have gotten embarrassing very, very quickly. And that's why I'm saying we should have been able to beat this Belgium team. They are not necessarily world class, in my opinion, okay? Again, if you disagree, let me know. Comments below.
There's a lot of Flemish and Walloon.
That's fine. That's fine. You're not world class. You are a very, very talented and gifted young team with a ton of incredibly talented players, but you're no Germany to me. You're no France.
Those two look like
they look stunning.
Is interesting.
Yeah.
Especially in South America.
Yeah,
so we're down to 3 CONMEBOL teams and 1 CONCACAF.
We're gonna have to go into that on another video. Maybe tomorrow we'll record that.
Okay,
I don't know. But I'm very sorry for being so critical about the United States. It means that much to us. Okay, we are your future, I guess, of American supporters. We are here actually. We've been here. I know I've been watching since I was 8, 7, 5 years old, maybe.
First World Cup was '94.
Yeah, sure. I think I even remember parts of 1990. But I digress. Okay. Born in '84 is me. Okay.
88.
Yeah. Anyways, we support you guys. And we want you guys to do well. And that's the only reason why we're breaking this down so much. And we want the discussion out there because look, we don't want people to be just patting you on the back. Okay. Another thing that Ollie, our good friend Ollie, World Football Daily host, was saying is that look at what the British press are saying about you. Oh, they're talking so highly about your effort and integrity and the way that you guys held so well in the back.
The press that goes so quick to crucify their own team.
Right. Look, I don't want a pat on the back for a nice try. I don't want a most improved player award. I don't want a thanks for participating medal. Don't give me that shit.
Rafa wants that actual golden globe that's on a trophy in his hands. Or in their hands, I would say. That's what he wants. I mean, and actually we all kind of want that. Who doesn't want that?
That's, in my opinion, the real American spirit. And I know that these players all felt the same way. They played to win. They wanted to win. I know that they may have been strapped for tactics by their coaching staff. And this is again why I think that maybe we should relook at our current coaching position because, in my opinion, we haven't progressed whatsoever. So,
in your opinion, who would you pick right now?
Tab Ramos.
Juan de Ramos?
Tab Ramos, American Tab Ramos.
Tab Ramos.
Current U20 coach. He's got a decent eye for talent. I'm sure he would give the Latin American contingent here in the States a fair shake.
Yeah.
And or help breed a progression in our soccer tactics.
We'll have to save this for another U.S. soccer play because I think Gillinsman did give the Latinos a little bit of a shout. Corona could have gotten in there. He was playing well for Tijuana and whatnot. Same with Torres for Pachuca. Beasley actually plays in Puebla. He plays.
The only thing I didn't like about Beasley was that he's so predictable. And that was the other thing.
Still love you, DeMarcus. I go down to your games in Puebla sometimes, and when you go to Tijuana, I go to your games too.
Look, again, that's my last kind of complaint about our attack was that it was so very predictable. It seemed like, well, yeah, we're gonna go down and we're gonna try to. We were playing FIFA, very basic FIFA soccer 2014. Okay, it's what the beginners do. They pass their way to a certain point and then they run down the edges of the field and try to cross it in.
That's one-dimensional.
Yeah, it's very, very predictable, very one-dimensional, and very simple to sort out. Okay, that's it. I'm not
fair enough.
Any final comments?
I am happy with what you guys did. You went to that so-called group of death. There's a bunch of them. Mexico had a hard one. You went to the one that you had, and you overcome. and you showed how in America, if somehow people can't understand how we play the sport or how this tournament works, because the group stages and how the whole point system works, that we can still overcome and get through and still get everyone to come behind us and support us. That's, I think, what's the important thing. Even though we didn't go far, we still kind of won more support. We kind of won more respect in the way of the game here. And I applaud you guys for that. You played tough. You played good. You played with heart. Now, since it is what it is, let's go on to try to conquer Russia in 2018.
Yeah, that's well said. I'm not going to say much more. I mean, again, I do applaud you guys, and thank you for taking us on this ride, and best of luck in your careers, because I think you have a very large audience that will be following you from here on out. So thank you to the United States men's national team. Again, I know we're very critical, or at least I am in this video, but
a little kind, I guess. We're gonna rock on.
Sure. We thank you. So that's it, and yeah, until the next video. Subscribe.